My name is Mike Pfaff, and this is my YouTube channel, Living in the Illusion. Now, last time we got together a few days ago, in that video, we had a lot of fun, and I have that model right here on our board right now for a short review, because what we're going to be talking about in this video is going to use some of this model. So real quickly here, what we talked about last time is, can you really believe what you see? Can you believe what you see? Now, the idea of that is, in the egoic world, we believe we see with the eyes. We believe that information comes in and the eye sees stuff. Now, the eye doesn't see anything. Its only function is to transmit information. It doesn't analyze it, it doesn't justify it, it doesn't filter it, it doesn't decide what's good or bad. It just passes what information comes to it. And this information then, in its raw form, has to be filtered so that we can decode it and interpret the information in a meaningful way. And the meaningful way is to filter it through what we know to be true about us, our belief system, our past experiences, and our memories. So we take the raw data and we come up with meaningful information. And it is from the meaningful information that we create our world. And our world is an interpretation in the mind based upon our past. So what does the eye see? Data. What do you think the eye sees? Your inside interpretation is what you believe the eye sees, what the ears hear, what the taste buds tell you, what you're feeling, what you are smelling. All of that is interpretation in the mind based upon your past. So your current world is created around your past. And you never see the current world, the current outside information as it is. You always see it as an interpretation based upon who you are. So that was the main thing last time. Your eyes don't tell you nothing. Your eyes don't tell you anything. What you think the eyes tell you is an interpretation on the inside based upon your past. Has nothing to do with the input energy. Very little. So that's what we talked about last time. Now, in a moment, we're going to change this and put up what we're going to be talking about today, which is related in certain ways to this model. So we will see you in a moment. And here is our subject for today. Are you sure you know what pain is? And we made some changes in our model. We have taken out the outside infinite energy system and replaced it with the inside nervous system inside the body. So this represents the nervous system. All the different nerves, central nervous system, peripheral nervous system, all the stuff here, all the different signals that come from the body, from neuropeptides, from chemical interactions, from electromagnetic impulses, all kinds of stuff going on in the body. Now I've left this the way it is. You see where the eye is? I left it there so that you could get some perspective as I change it. So what I'm going to do is take the eye out, just the eye, and I want you to see this as signals. Signals. Signals coming from the nervous system. Coming from the nervous system into this side. Now look again. I tried to make this again as chaotic as I could because we are unaware on a conscious level of how many signals and information that's being passed back and forth within the nervous system. All kinds of electromagnetic and chemical signals zooming around on the inside. And those signals are just raw data. Raw data. Now, some of the chemical signals do actuate certain systems with nothing but the chemical signal itself. Same thing with electromagnetic. But most of the signals are raw data, like, I got to go to the bathroom. Oh, you have certain signals in the body that remind you of that when that is an important encounter. And you're hungry, you're tired, you're disappointed, you're all kinds of stuff. Signals from the nervous system. Now we're looking at this side of the model over here. So the signals come in, raw data. I didn't have much room here to put that, so I could probably change that. We have the signal as raw data, raw data. Now, somebody makes a determination. Not somebody. It's done in here. It's done in your subconscious mind. Somebody makes the determination between what I'm going to work on first. I have to go to the bathroom. I'm thirsty. Somebody makes a determination, which one of those am I going to take care of first? Well, a lot of stuff, the outside environment, how close are you to a bathroom, how close are you to a drinking fountain, all kinds of stuff like that. But there is a determination made based upon your past experiences and memories and life experiences. So this is not that much different than our other model. That's why I wanted to review the other model a little bit. So now we filter all these signals coming in here, and through our experience, what we know. That's all stored in the subconscious mind in the form of memories, and we don't know where they are. Look at the last video. Look at the one before that. We don't know where memories are. We don't know where the subconscious mind is. but we use that information so we know it's there. Just can't find it. So after you filter these signals and determine which one, which is now meaningful data, you have turned the chaotic raw data into meaningful data to you, and so you can make an interpretation in the mind. Make an interpretation in the mind. Does that sound familiar? So now, as an example, I picked the finger. I did that in another video, and I'll reference it. And again, talking about pain. I'll reference it there. Oh, and I'll also reference, if I haven't already, the last video. So you can kind of get the whole thing. So now we have this finger, and let's assume, as I did in the other video, that we have a thorn. I don't know how to draw it, so it's easy, but thorn. Thorn in your finger. Now there's a signal. You don't know the thorn's in your finger until you interpret the data. And that's way over here. So your finger with the thorn in it doesn't hurt. Doesn't hurt. Why doesn't it hurt? Haven't determined if it hurts or not. How big is the thorn? How far is it in? Is it really big, or is it just a little picker? Did it fall out, or is it still in? All kinds of signals. And these signals then have to be interpreted, have to be filtered and interpreted and decoded so that you can make an interpretation of the mind as to how important is the signal in your finger. Now inside, you create your pain. You create the level of discomfort based upon your past. Not this thorn in the finger. Your pain level is determined by your past, by your interpretation, and by which other signals here are more important. Now, recognize that when you determine there is pain in your finger or discomfort, and the level that you say, well, I have to take action now, then you create that in here, and here's your conscious mind. It observes this creation and interpretation, and knowing that there's an outside world outside of your mind, projects this pain, onto your finger. And on a conscious level, you say, oh, my finger hurts. On a subconscious level, it doesn't hurt. So pain is an interpretation in the mind projected on the body by the conscious mind. Now let's look at our question. Are you sure you know what pain is? And I'm telling you, and you don't have to believe it, just think about it. Your pain, your discomfort is an interpretation in the mind. Now, you go to the doctor and you say, I got a thorn in my finger. He says, oh, I'll take care of that. I'll give you a pain pill. pain pill. And when you take the pain pill, does the effect go to the finger, or to your knee, or to your shoulder, or to your heart, or to your... No. It goes here, and it cuts the signal off here in the brain. When the so the signal never gets, the raw data never gets here. So you can't make an interpretation of the pain. So therefore, conscious mind sees no pain because the signal has been chemically cut off. And therefore, your finger doesn't hurt. And you think, oh, the medication healed my finger because it doesn't hurt. Didn't have nothing to do with your finger. It had to do with what you're doing in the subconscious mind in the brain. Are you sure you know what pain is? Are you sure? So I'm suggesting that all of your pain, all your discomfort, and I'll even go a little bit further, is very questionable. All disease is an interpretation of the mind. Now, this is two belief systems. Pain is in the body, that's one. Pain is in the mind as an interpretation, that's another. What you believe is going to determine how you're going to approach the healing process. If you believe the body is in pain, you're going to approach healing in a certain way. If you believe that pain is an interpretation in the mind, you're going to approach healing a different way. By the way, special forces, and I think the information I have says that it started with Russian special forces, recognize this. And when you are in special forces, even though you have a thorn in your finger, you have to complete the mission. But knowing the pain in your finger is related to your interpretation in the mind, you can change the mind. The mind is easy to change. What are some of the ways of changing the mind? First one comes to mind: hypnosis, meditation, tapping. The same things we used before when we talked about changing memories. Because the interpretation in mind is a memory. Oh, this is so far outside of the egoic belief system. Some of you, and I've had this happen, will turn this channel off because they say, well, that is so crazy. You mean my finger doesn't hurt? I know my finger hurts. It's an interpretation in the mind. The signals in the body through the central nervous system operate at 100,000 miles per hour. Zing, 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 going around, picking them up, which is somewhere around 10 billion bits of data per second. The subconscious mind processes that information at 1 billion. Some of the information is 400 billion bits of data per second. And it's coming up with an interpretation. Your conscious mind, which you believe, operates at 100 bits per second. Has no idea this is going on. So it only says this, oh, my finger hurts. Now, why is that important? Because the healing process is different if you are interpreting pain in the mind or if your finger hurts. The egoic world will have you believe. Because if it's here, you have no control. You got to go to somebody else that'll take care of that. But when you know it's in your mind, you can begin to make changes. Now, you don't have to change anything. By that I mean, follow the requirements for the pain being in your finger. Why is that important? It will change the signal. And when you change the signal, you're going to get a different interpretation in the mind. So, doing that, you're going to get that. But for healing, knowing that it's in the mind, your healing process is different than believing it's my finger that hurts. That's just a signal. And that's the interpretation of the signal and the mind's projection. Conscious mind. So where does your pain come from? Are you sure you know what pain is? Oh, we have much to talk about here in the illusion. Remember, you're in an illusion. And if you want mastery, you have to back up and begin to deconstruct the illusion. Be good to yourself. And I look forward to seeing you next time here in the illusion. Bye now. Well, I have quickly returned because, again, I forgot to mention A Course in Miracles. Now, this is a very important segment of the Course, and it's not taken out of the text or the questions. It is taken out of the book for psychological processing. And you'll have to look that up. I do have a reference in the description of the video. And so I'm sorry I got to do this, but to me it is important, and maybe you'll understand. Here's what it says. Since only the mind can be sick, only the mind can be healed. Only the mind is in need of healing. This interpretation is the way it is because the mind is the way it is. When you change your mind, you change everything. So give that some thought. And again, I'm going to see you again next time in the illusion. Bye now.